Chapter 1. The Contract. Wade woke the next morning with a pounding headache. The night before was mostly a blur of beer, whiskey, and bad decisions. His mouth felt like sandpaper, his stomach rolled with almost motion sickness, and every muscle in his body complained as he slowly forced himself out of bed. He wasn't just any driver. He was a heavy transport driver. Apparently, sometime during his drinking, he had accepted a hauling contract. Sitting on the nightstand beside his bed was a thick envelope and a set of heavy keys. "What the hell did I agree to?" Wade muttered. He picked up the envelope and opened it. Inside was a transport contract from a company he had never heard of, Magic and Stuff LLC. Wade blinked. That's a weird company name. The paperwork looked completely legitimate. It listed a pickup address, instructions to retrieve a truck and cargo, and a destination marked only by GPS coordinates high in the mountains. Everything had already been paid for. Too hung over to question it too much, Wade grabbed a blue Gatorade from the refrigerator and swallowed several Advil before slowly drinking half the bottle. After a few minutes, the pounding in his head eased enough for him to function. He showered, got dressed, and packed for what looked like a week-long trip. His travel bag held a week's worth of clothes. His laptop went into its padded case. He grabbed his fishing pole and tackle box. If he had to stop overnight somewhere with a lake or river nearby, he might as well try catching dinner. Next came his cooler. He filled it with enough food for the trip: steaks, hamburger, bacon, eggs, canned vegetables, potatoes, coffee, spices, cooking oil, and a few snacks. His revolver went into its holster. He checked the cylinder. Loaded. An extra 12 rounds went into a small ammo pouch. Finally, he picked up his little canvas change bag, packed full of quarters. "Laundry money," he said with a grin. Long-haul trucking taught you to keep quarters handy. With everything loaded into his pickup, Wade headed toward the address listed on the contract. About 45 minutes later, he pulled through the gates of what looked like an abandoned industrial yard. The place had seen better decades. Old brick buildings with broken windows stood quietly beneath rusting water towers. Weeds pushed through cracked pavement, and faded signs hung crooked from buildings that hadn't seen fresh paint in years. Only one thing looked maintained. Parked in the middle of the yard sat an Oshkosh M1070 heavy equipment transporter, freshly washed and looking ready to roll. Hooked behind, it was a King GTS 53-foot semi-trailer. Strapped securely to the trailer were 3 pieces of cargo: a 40 to 75 horsepower compact 4x4 tractor, a 25-foot off-grid shipping container, complete with solar panels folded against its roof, and a 10-foot fuel container. Everything looked surprisingly new. Wade climbed out of his pickup and looked around. "Hello," he called. Nothing. He walked to what he assumed was the office. The door was locked. He knocked. Still nothing. He checked the time. He was exactly on schedule according to the contract. Weird. After waiting several minutes, Wade shrugged. "Guess I'll do my inspection." Years of hauling oversized loads had made inspections second nature. He walked completely around the truck, checking every tire, every airline, every electrical connection, and every locking pin. The trailer brakes looked good. The kingpin was properly locked. The chains and binders securing the cargo were tight. Nothing had shifted. Satisfied, Wade climbed onto the trailer and inspected each load individually. The compact tractor hadn't moved an inch. The off-grid container was secured with heavy chains and industrial ratchet binders. The fuel container was bolted down securely. Still not satisfied, Wade grabbed several heavy-duty cargo tarps from the truck's storage compartments. "If I'm hauling this through rain or mountain weather," he muttered, "it's staying covered." He spent the next half hour carefully covering every piece of cargo before tightening dozens of straps until the tarps barely moved. Only then did he begin loading his own equipment into the truck. His travel bag went behind the seats. The cooler fit neatly beside it. His laptop sat on the passenger seat. His fishing gear rested along the sleeper compartment wall. Once everything was organized, Wade climbed into the driver's seat. Waiting on the dashboard was a handwritten note. "Driver, take this truck and everything loaded on it to the GPS coordinates provided in your contract. Someone will be waiting there to receive the shipment. After delivery, you'll be driven back to the nearest town where a bus ticket home will be waiting. Inside the envelope is $2,000 cash for fuel and trip expenses. The truck has already been fueled. Drive safely. Wade looked inside the envelope. Sure enough, 20 crisp $100 bills. $2,000. He whistled. Well, that's real. He pulled out his GPS, entered the coordinates, and watched the route calculate. The destination surprised him. An old abandoned copper mine high in the mountains. Several hours from civilization. According to the GPS, the road ended there. Wade leaned back in the driver's seat. This keeps getting stranger. Still, the paperwork was legitimate. The truck was immaculate. The money was real. The cargo was secured. As far as he could tell, it was just another transport job. He turned a massive diesel engine over. The Oshkosh roared to life with a deep rumble that shook the entire yard. After letting the engine warm up, Wade released the parking brake, eased the massive truck into gear, and slowly rolled out of the forgotten industrial complex, completely unaware that this ordinary-looking delivery would become the strangest trip of his life.